What were you doing in that photo that they turned into a scandal when you were in Russia?
I was on a tour of a couple European capitals to talk to world leaders and grassroots groups about our agenda to basically create a global Green New Deal. In Russia, I actually said that Russia was following in the disastrous footsteps of the U.S. by bombing Syria. So I'm challenging all the warmongers here for trying to make peace through war, which doesn't happen. So it was peace in the Middle East and a nuclear weapons ban. Now, if only our leaders would follow my good example and do the same thing, that is what we need to do. That's what John Kennedy did with Khrushchev back in the 1960s and averted a World War III that could have broken out way back then. That's what we need to be doing now. We need to have people who have the backbone to actually talk to their adversaries as well as their allies. This is like not something that should be defended. This is like not rocket science at all. Michael Flynn was not an appointee of the Trump administration at the time. He had most recently been a part of the Obama administration. He and I exchanged a few words. I gave him my elevator speech about why I was there. He had absolutely no interest in it, and our conversation ended there. At that dinner table, people who spoke English, spoke to each other. People who spoke Russian spoke to each other. When Vladimir Putin walked in with 3 strapping, muscular guys, I assumed they were his bodyguards. Nobody introduced anybody to anybody. It turned out they were like his chief of staff, his press guy, and stuff like that. They were not interested in the small peons who happened to be seated at the table. This was a conference, and I had an opportunity to speak at that conference and address press from around the nation about a different kind of America, an America that really wanted peace, that wanted a nuclear weapons ban and a global Green New Deal. It was very important that I was there and lay groundwork for discussion. This is the kind of dialogue that should be emulated and that should be prioritized and that our leadership should be conducting right now. Climate change is a threat to us all. War is a threat to us all. And we have to start operating on those principles. Genocide is a threat to us all, and the undermining of international law is a threat to us all. We have to become a team player here. We need to open up the world of international law and diplomacy and human rights. That should be the basis of our foreign policy going forward, not brute force and military domination.